In the rest, the standard is very bad. In 1947, when India became independent, a lot of the leaders at high positions were Muslims, and a lot of them were Shias. Today, there are no Muslims in higher positions, and especially the Shias. Shias do not study, they are not educated because the member tells them they are all Jannati, they don't need to study. They are all going to Jannat anyway. So, we have tried very hard to educate the students who come to us, and Alhamdulillah, we have succeeded. At the moment, even in the college, in the bachelor's degree and in the master's degree of the top, we are affiliated to Bhavnagar University. Bhavnagar University has got 26 colleges, like ours is the last one, 26th one, because we affiliated to Bhavnagar University 8 years ago. We are the youngest college to be affiliated, and today, of the 10 top students of Bhavnagar University, at least 3 every year are from Mahdi College. So that is the type of quality we are trying to aim at. Nearly 50 of our students have either become doctors or pharmacists or physiotherapists, and others are studying. And similarly, about 70 students have become engineers or are studying engineering. We also spend more time in trying to improve the other schools. There are 18 Shia schools in Gujarat, and we called a meeting of the 18. We called the trustees and the principals to come for a discussion, and out of the 18, only 5 turned up. But anyway, we had a good meeting, and we discussed about improvement of education. In Bhavnagar, today we heard the mention of Marhum Mohib Nasser. Mohib Nasser is of Aliman Trust in Mumbai. About 30 years ago, a Kuwaiti came to Gujarat and he built a school in Maua. Then the school was of a very high standard, but slowly the standard deteriorated because you cannot control a school from Mumbai, which is so far away. It takes you 24 hours to get to Maua. So 8 years ago, we talked to Aliman Trust to give the school to us to run. It took us 2 years to convince them. Finally, they gave it to us 6 years ago. There were 300 students at that time. Today we got 1,500 students, and 100% are Shias. We have slowly improved the quality of education, and last year, 2022, of the 10 top students of MOA, 10 students were from our school. So that is, see, if you put effort, then hopefully the Shias will come up, and the Shias will then be able to be leaders. Then you cannot argue that I'm not getting this position, I'm not getting it. Why should you get that position? You are not educated. So education is extremely important. Now, funding, the rich people, alhamdulillah, are now educated. The World Federation put a lot of effort to guide them, to convince them to pay, to donate, and that has happened. Most of the funding of the schools in Maua and in Bhavnagar is paid locally by the local people. Except for higher education, because higher education is extremely expensive. At the moment, until last year, we needed £200,000 per year to educate university students. Out of these, 100,000 was coming from World Federation and 100,000 was being raised locally by the trustees. This year, it is going to shoot up to 400,000 because now that we have got India Federation, and India Federation has decided to put more effort in education, and we are now already getting application from students from all over India for funds to go for university education. For school education, the local people can, the parents can meet the expenses, plus the local people can also help them. But for higher education, it is rather expensive. Now, why do we need to have good quality education? Well, I give you an example. For example, if you want to study medicine, if you have got good results, then you get admission in the government quota, and for that it is £260 per annum for 5 years. £260 per annum for 5 years. If you haven't got good marks, if you only got 3 marks less, just 3 marks less, you have to pay £30,000 per annum for 5 years. This shows you why we need to concentrate, and all of you probably get a lot of donors who keep asking you, you need to concentrate on the quality of education. That way, you will have to pay far less for education. And Alhamdulillah, we are able to, our students are doing rather very well, and they have got the heart. They pay back. I was asked, do they pay back to the community? Yes. Number one, the money that is given to them is a loan, and they all pay back their loans after some time. It takes them up to 10 years to start, but they do pay their loans back. Once they have got married, once they have established themselves in business, then they pay back the loans. The first student who was educated by the World Federation, he is now a cluster manager for a bank. In other words, he's the manager of 4 towns. All the branches in those 4 towns, he's the manager. And since he graduated, since that time, nearly 25 years ago, he has been supporting students through education. One doctor, he was very poor. His father had left them, so he was brought up by his mother. He did medicine, then he did his master's, he qualified, and then he has now become an orthopedic surgeon. He worked for 2 years in Surat. Surat is a very big city where you get a lot of money when you work there. So last month, that is only 2 weeks ago, he has moved back to Bhavnagar because he said, I must serve my community. He has moved there. He's got a job in a hospital, and since he has been there for the last 17, 18 days, he does 3 operations a day. And he also, for a lot of the operations, you get funding from the government. So he is specializing in that. He guides people not to spend their own money, but to get money, and he helps them get money from the government to pay for the operations. So there's a lot of goodness about the people, and Alhamdulillah, I'm very happy there. I have had no problem at all. My health is very good. I keep myself very busy, and I think those of you who need to consider, if you feel you've got problems in living in a cold climate, you should really consider wherever you go in the world, but move to a warm climate, because that has helped us a lot. I mean, when you saw my father, within a month, starting to walk, and he did a very last year of his life. I will take questions. If anybody has got, I will ask you. Kasi? Okay. You can meet me and you can talk to me. Yes.
Yes. One question.
Yes.
When you went there, that school, how many students did it have? It had 4,000
at the moment it's 4,000, and it's up to master's degree. In those days,